Welcome back to the log cabin on Tipton Ridge. My name is Haiti Canovas, and I'm the singer-songwriter to the songs that are being posted here on this YouTube channel. And this is my second video, and this is a song about friendship. So this log cabin belonged to the Tiptons. Omer Tipton Jr. was born here, and when the cabin was in its original location, which it was built originally in 1874, according to Phyllis Moyer Tipton, Omer Tipton's daughter. She loves genealogy, and she told me the history of her family, which got here into Kentucky in 1804, arrived in Kentucky in 1804, and has been here ever since. So Omer was born in this log cabin in January of 1929. Omer died this year, June 25th, 2020. 2020 has been a horrendous year, and he's been sorely missed here on the cabin, at the cabin, and also at his home, which is next door. And so I started making friends here. Phyllis, his daughter, went to the closing in Louisville, and after that we went to lunch together, and she started telling me about the history, her family's history here on Tipton Ridge. And I told her that I was learning how to play clawhammer banjo, and her jaw practically dropped, and she says, "Don't tell Omer. We're going to visit you at the cabin this weekend, and I want to see his face when you play something for him." And well, we closed on a Thursday, and on Friday I had to work, so I was in Louisville, and Saturday I came down, and Phyllis met me here at the cabin, and she helped me clean the cabin. My first day at the cabin was with Phyllis here, cleaning the cabin, cleaning the kitchen and the bathroom, and mopping the floors. And well, anyways, it was very thoughtful of her. And the next day, they came. Omer and his son and his daughter, Phyllis and Terry. And I had a cot here. You know, it wasn't set up like this. There was nothing here except for a cot, and cots are not very comfortable to sleep in. I now sleep upstairs, and I took out the ukulele first, and I played some songs and sang. And then I took out the banjo, the clawhammer banjo. Well, it turns out Omer loves old-timey music, especially banjo music, clawhammer and bluegrass. Many times when I would go over, I'd see he'd be on a YouTube channel watching bluegrass music at home. And when I took out the banjo, not this one, the During Good Time, that was my beginner banjo, and his mouth dropped like that. And he knew me as, you know, I write plays too, but I never told him that I played any musical instrument. It turns out that the family's very musical. Phyllis is in 3 country bands in Georgetown, Ohio. Terry plays various instruments too, including the banjo and the guitar and the bass guitar. And so then they said, well, we're going to take you to see Fitchburg Furnace. And it turns out to be in Estill County. That's like the most historical thing to see. It's the biggest furnace in the world. It's protected by the federal government. It's preserved. It has a roof over it. And back 150 years ago, the railroad companies would smelt iron in these furnaces and create molds, and then send them to wherever they were making railroad lines right? And so I went to see that, and it was fantastic. And Phyllis and I, we walked all through the double furnace, and it's humongous. It's here in Estill County. So if you like railroad history, that's something to see here in Estill County. And I remember when we were driving down the road, I thought the road would never end. It was down a holler. We rode and drove and drove and drove until we finally got to it. And now when anybody comes to visit, oh, we need to go see Fitchburg Furnace. And so I thought about, how about those men 150 years ago, you know, with mule trains and horse trains, getting this iron out of the mountain. And my gosh, and here in the summer, it could be really muggy and hot, and mosquitoes and bugs galore. And then I started thinking about me, about my family, how I grew up in South Florida, the daughter of Cuban immigrants, and every several years we'd have families come and stay with us. And of course, as me, I was a kid, I'd give up my room so that they can have their own private room, and I'd sleep on the couch. And I remember my parents would help them find a job and get an apartment and help them learn how to drive, get their driver's license, just the whole thing of being new immigrants. And so, you know, hearing also about the boat people, and 50% of the boat people would drown in the Florida Straits, you know, the Haitians, the Cubans. And can you imagine having to leave your country because it's better off the danger of the sea, risking that to get to liberty, than to staying on the oppressive island? And so, and then I thought about my friend John Huffman, who was discovered that he had colon cancer and was worried about how he was going to get treatment for it. And so this song is called "You're from the Mountains and I'm from the Sea." It's one of the first songs that I wrote, and it's dedicated to my friends here in the mountains.